Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and today we've got a really exciting video, or I class it as exciting anyway, and that is to do a reading vlog but with a twist. And that twist is that I'm not going to be touching social media for the entire day, and I'm just going to see how much I can read. All these social media apps on my phone have been greyed out. I've used that app limit kind of system thing that Apple phones have, where you can basically block them after a certain amount of usage, and I did a minute usage, and I just quickly this morning got rid of all my notifications, and then they all grayed out, so I can't actually touch them. And if I do, it says time limit on them. I don't know if you can see that, but I basically can't get into any of my social media apps today. So I'm doing like a mini experiment, see how much I can read when social media isn't a distraction. So I'm excited to get into this reading vlog. It's currently Saturday at 8:30 a.m. So I'm just going to kind of do this entire day. I'm not going to do 24 hours exactly, but I'm just going to see how much I can read today. As in the UK, we have gone into a second lockdown, so I can't see anyone. So it's perfect time to try and experiment with this and see how much I can read, basically. I have a couple books in mind to try and conquer today, and the first one is Wonderscape by Jennifer Bell. I mentioned this in my November TBR. I'll link that up above if you haven't seen it. But this book is basically a middle grade adventure fantasy book where three friends kind of get stuck in this adventure reality game, and some funny historical figures come to help them out to try and get back to reality. And the cover is absolutely stunning, and it just looks like such a fun read. And with it being middle grade, I should fly through this pretty quickly. I'm sure I could do it with having no distractions, but yeah, we shall see. But I want to try and conquer this one. And then as a break from middle grade, I also want to get a little bit through I Killed Zoe Spanos. This book is basically about a main character called Anna who moves to a new town for a nanny job, and recently a girl called Zoe Spanos has passed away, yet Anna feels really connected to her and she thinks that she might have something to do with the murder, but she's not sure what. So it's kind of basically kind of discovering what happens to Zoe Spanos, with Anna being the main character and feeling like she has some sort of connection to her. I'm really interested in picking this one up, but I'm not going to make this my priority today, although I'd love to get like 100 pages into this. We shall see. I'm just going to talk through some rules because I'm not doing a no phone day. I was thinking about doing a no phone day, but I can't go without my phone. I love the Forest app. I love listening to music when I read. I also want to talk to my boyfriend because we are in lockdown, so I don't want to stop messaging him. So there's a few apps and stuff that I do want to use my phone for. So I'm not going to say a no phone, I'm just saying a no social media, hence why I use the app limit feature on the phone. So I don't have access to those specific apps, but I can still use my phone, if you get what I mean. So yeah, that's the plan for the day. I'm really excited to get going. I'm basically going to get started with Wonderscape pretty immediately after finishing this clip and see how we get on. I'll update you throughout the day, but let's just see how much reading I can do without Twitter and Instagram distracting me for the entire day, which usually what happens. And I know I'm not the only one. So let's see if this experiment works, and yeah, let's get into it. It's now 10 o'clock and I've done on my Forest app, because I'm going to track my reading today through my Forest apps. Every time I sit down to read, I'm going to set a timer. So I've read for an hour and 15 minutes and I'm on page 90 of Wonderscape. So good progress so far. I'm actually really enjoying it. Lots of fun, lots of adventure, lots of action. Just a fun read where a video game comes to life. Very like Jumanji-esque. I'm getting Jumanji vibes. So yeah, it's fun to read, quick to read, which is good. I just wanted to say that not doing the social media has already made me read more, because it's a habit that every time I read a few chapters or I read a chapter, I will then pick up my phone and check social media as a break. So not being able to do that just encourages me to then read the next chapter, and then I'm like, oh, I can read one more chapter. So it's definitely helping me get through reading, which is good. But I have a few videos to film today, and I also want to like dust my room and hoover my room and do all like household chores, So I'm not going to be spending like the entire day reading. This vlog is just to see how much more reading I can get done when I don't have social media to distract me. So far so good. An hour and 15 minutes of reading, 90 pages down. So yeah, I just love doing like challenges in reading vlogs. I find them so fun. So yeah, I will update later. Hi guys, we're about halfway through the day now. It is coming up to 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm 146 pages into the Wonderscape. Wow, that took me too long to say that title. Brain blank, clearly. What I thought would be really interesting, because obviously this vlog isn't see how much I can read in a day. Like, I've done those. I know I can read a book in a day. Today's vlog is a challenge to see if not going on social media makes me read more. And I was thinking, how am I actually tracking that? Because it's just a typical day. I'm not doing anything, so of course I'm going to read more whether I'm on social media or not. So what I did, and I just calculated now, was I took the average of every single weekend, Saturday and Sunday, from April and May, which were UK's height of lockdown the first time round. I took on average the amount of pages I read. So obviously I tracked the amount of pages I read per day. So I just went back through my bullet journal and wrote down how many pages I read each weekend in those 2 months. And I just worked out the average, and on average I read about 167 pages per day. So, because obviously it's the fairest comparison, because back then I wasn't doing anything on the weekends apart from going on social media, watching YouTube and reading, because I couldn't see anyone. So that was the fairest comparison I could think of. So I'm not even at my average yet. Clearly I'm just reading at a slower pace, but I will get past my average. It's only 2 o'clock, and like I said, I'm on 146. So I only have to read another like 20 pages to get to my average anyway. And I'm hoping obviously to finish this book and read more than that. So we'll see, but I thought it was quite a cool comparison to do it that way, to give it more of like a context. So yeah, on average during lockdown part 1 in the UK, I read on average 167 pages per day on the weekend when I didn't have any work, I had no other commitments, etc. So I thought I'd just pop in here and say that. However, let's do an update of my thoughts on this. I'm enjoying it, but not as much as I was expecting. It's a fun fantasy adventure book, really, and it definitely reminds me of Ready Player One, where you have to get different like keys and stuff to enter different realms and compete on different games. Basically, these 3 friends, I won't even call them friends, they were kind of just like thrown together because they were in the same place at the same time, and an explosion happened in their town and they were all there at the scene. So they went in because they could hear a dog kind of like sounded like he was in pain. So they went into the house that exploded and they got the dog out safe and sound. However, then when they turned back around from the room they were in, the door had vanished. Next thing they knew, they were on a ship. They've time traveled and they're in a completely different realm. And now they've discovered they're in a game called Wonderscape, which is set in 2473 in the 25th century. So they're completely outside of anything they know, and they're trying to complete these different levels of the game to get back home. So it's a fun read. It's not amazing. It's not like blowing my mind, and I'm not 100% connected with the characters. I don't think the descriptions of the different realms are all that interesting. They're very, they've been done before. Like there's a racing realm and there was like a pirate ship realm. Like there's nothing too inventive about this book. So I'm enjoying it. It's a fun read, but nothing special. So yeah, it's now obviously 10 to 2. I'm actually going to go for a walk because it's really nice and sunny outside, and then I will get back to reading, so I'll update you later. I'm back from my walk now, and I'm in my cozy, comfy clothes, and I'm gonna obviously start reading again. Messy hair, don't care. I've been in public, I've filmed now, so I don't really care what I look like for the rest of the day. But I'm in my cozy reading spot, and I'm just gonna read. I'm going to try and get to page 200 of this. And then I might actually take a break from this book and start I Killed Zoe Spanos. So not that I'm not enjoying this book, but I do feel like switching up might motivate me to pick up my pace. So yeah, that's the plan. I'm going to set the Forest app for about half hour and try and get us through as much of this as possible, and then pick up Zoe Spanos. Update on social media, I don't miss it whatsoever. It's actually been really refreshing not having that to constantly scroll through mindlessly. Really actually enjoyed it. I might actually do it more often. Just days where I just block the apps off and I don't use them for a day. No one's missing me. There's nothing urgent I need to do on there. It's just a mindless scrolling activity that doesn't need to be done and can have a day without it and you'll be absolutely fine. Highly recommend you try it if you're looking for like a self-care activity. I think it's really, really good to kind of spend some time away from social media, get out for a walk, just read without any distractions. I'm really enjoying my day. So yeah, that's the social media update. I'm gonna go read. 30 minutes. Let's go. Hi guys, I'm here to wrap up the vlog and discuss what books I read, how much I read, did I beat my daily average, and my thoughts on not binging social media all day yesterday. So let's get into it. The first book I picked up yesterday was Wonderscape by Jennifer Bell. I got to page 250 of this. I have 100 pages left to read, which I'm going to try and conquer today. I am enjoying this book. I really enjoy kind of the adventure aspect of this. I don't tend to read many fantasy adventure middle grades, so I'm thoroughly enjoying that aspect of the book. And I'm intrigued to see where the characters end up and how they get home, because it is a middle grade, so I'm assuming they get home safely. So I'm intrigued to see how this book wraps up, and hopefully I can discover that out today. And then the second book I picked up was I Killed Zoe Spanos by Kit Frick, and I got to page 50 of this book. I'm really, really enjoying it. I'm loving the writing style. It has a dual timeline, so you get to see the before and after the incident in this book, giving you a deeper understanding of the story and the characters, which I'm really, really enjoying. So yeah, with 250 pages read of Wonderscape, 50 pages read of Zoe Spanos, I in total read 300 pages yesterday, which, if you remembered, my daily average of last lockdown was 167 pages. I roughly doubled that, which is brilliant, and I'm assuming that's down to social media. So let's get into my thoughts on missing social media for a day. And the fact is, I didn't miss it. I really didn't feel the urge to go on it. It was just the times when I went to my phone to use it, it's out of habit, which is not a great habit to have, that's for sure. I discovered that when I usually read, I'll read a few chapters and then for a treat or a break, I will go to my phone and scroll through social media. The bad thing about that is that I would usually then spend about double the amount of time scrolling through social media than I did reading, lessening my reading time in total for the day. So that obviously isn't great, and obviously not having that yesterday allowed me to read more. The other thing I kind of noticed was in the evening when I had read about 40 pages of Zoe Spanos, I sat up in bed and I was like, I'm bored of reading. I'm gonna do something else. So I got my phone intending to go on social media, realizing I couldn't, and I was like, well, what else am I going to do with my time? So I read another chapter and got to page 50. So that kind of shows that if you don't have social media to scroll through, you can read a lot more and you're not missing out on anything. All the tweets, all the Instagram posts, all the YouTube videos, everything's going to be there when you wake up in the morning or when you decide to go back on social media. So I definitely think it's worthwhile doing if it's for a day or a few hours, just to enable yourself to read more. To be honest, my mental health yesterday was so much better than it usually is. I was just a lot more positive because I wasn't surrounding myself with negative things on Twitter or Instagram that you subconsciously take in, and it hinders your mood, especially for me anyway. And I just got to enjoy the books I was reading without constantly updating people or feeling like people are relying on me to kind of update my page count on Twitter or Goodreads. And I just went out for walks and I enjoyed the fresh air. Like, I really, really enjoyed yesterday because it just kind of showed me how much time I just mindlessly scrolled through social media. I don't need to spend that much time on my phone per day. On average, my phone screen time is about 4 to 5 hours, and most of that is due to social media apps. And it's just kind of opened my eyes to realise I don't need to do it as often. I don't need to constantly mindlessly scroll. And I definitely want to do this challenge more often, maybe monthly or bi-weekly. I think it's really, really important for my mental health, as well as just to be able to read more. Obviously, I'm a booktuber now, and reading books is kind of how I can create content. So even if it's like a 15-minute break here and there from social media and picking up a book, it's going to allow me to read more per month, and that is always a good thing. So yeah, that's kind of all I wanted to say in this vlog. I really, really hope you enjoyed it. I definitely enjoyed myself, and I'll be doing this challenge more often. Make sure you give this video a like if you liked it, obviously, and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more of me. Look in the description box below for all the magical links, such as my social media, as well as books mentioned, and all the wonderful stuff is always down there hidden. So make sure you check that out, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys.